Hello and welcome to Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. I'm Becky Parker Geist and I'm your host. Audiobook Connection is your place to learn about the audiobook creative process and for authors to learn valuable tips on producing and marketing your audiobooks. This podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Hello, thank you so much for being with me today. We're going to address the question that I get asked in many different forms, many different ways, but the question is, do I really have to market? And this is, of course, from authors who really love writing, love creating the books, but are not very excited about the marketing process. So let's talk about, do you really have to market your audiobook? Let's take a look at some options. First of all, if I say no, you don't really have to market your audiobook, well, that's true because you always have personal choice around that. The question really is, would you like to help people find your audiobook and book and you? Would you like your followers, your potential followers, to know that you're there, that your work is there? If not, if you don't care about that, then first of all, I would question why you've bothered to publish your book, why you've bothered to produce your audiobook. So the assumption that I'll go forward with is that's not really the scenario that you're actually looking for. When you choose not to market, it's a little bit like taking the things that you've created and sticking them in a dark closet so that no one will ever find them. When I'm talking with authors, usually one of the very first questions I ask is around, what is your goal for your audiobook and your book, your publishing work? What's your goal, your biggest goal? And most often, what I hear is that I want to reach as wide an audience as I can, or I want more people to consume the content. And we can use lots of different ways of saying that. Read my book, listen to my audiobook. But they want more followers, more people who will take in what they are putting out. Many times we'll dig even deeper as to why that matters. What will having that result do for you? And the kinds of responses I typically get are because it will help other people in their lives. It will change their lives in some beneficial way. In some way, their particular content will make the world a better place. And that is the big picture goal. So I want you to keep that in mind. If that fits for you, what is an appropriate answer to, do I really need to market? If I were to answer that question differently and to say, maybe, it would be with the idea that if you're not going to do it, then there must be someone else who's going to do it. Because as we've already seen, not marketing at all is just not helpful. It's kind of creates all of your work so far, just piles it into a pointless endeavor. And I say pointless not as hopefully you've gotten your own personal benefit from it, from just the process and the enjoyment of writing. And you may have the intention just to do it for your family, and that's totally fine. Or do it just for yourself. So I don't mean to say that if that was your intention, that it was pointless. Not at all. What I am saying, though, is that if your intention is to get it out into the world, to have more people listen to your audiobook and read your book, then not marketing is missing a fundamental piece of the puzzle. Now, if you do have someone else doing that work for you, that's awesome and totally doable. And that could include any number of different innovative, creative ways to approach the whole marketing strategy. It could include social media, email newsletters, live in-person events, live online events, creating groups, getting on podcasts and other media and being interviewed, creating book trailers and audiobook trailers. And these are just some of the most common approaches and tactics that people use in order to get the word out there that you have something special to offer to your audience. And before we move on to kind of the last potential answer to that question, do I really need to market? I want to call into attention, to put into the spotlight, this whole question of your goal. What is your biggest goal? And what will having that do for you? And I want you to consistently, I'll say at least once a month, but ideally even more frequently, I want you to ask yourself that question, that set of questions, so that you can stay in touch with what that passion is that is driving you forward. Because that really is so fundamental, both to you enjoying what you're doing and you actually taking the steps because you are driven by that goal, by that desire to make a difference in the world. Now, we're just going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and address the last potential answer to that question. Would you like to earn more from your audiobook sales? If you're an author with an audiobook, you may have noticed that royalties from Audible especially, and other platforms as well, are frankly kinda pathetically low, disappointingly low, and unfairly low considering what it cost you in effort and resources to create it. How is it the retailers are the ones making all the money off your work and investment? As someone who started in the audiobook industry in 1981, I've found it frustrating that authors keep getting shortchanged. The good news is that Pro Audio Voices just launched Amplify Audiobooks, a direct sale audiobook platform for authors that puts you back in the driver's seat. Earn 65% of the gross sales price that you set. Compare that to the percentage of the percentage that retailers give. Run promotions on schedule whenever you want. Create coupon codes. Build community with your customers, since you'll know who they are and how to contact them. Work with a caring, responsive, supportive team to help you succeed all along the way. Get help with marketing. Get paid weekly. We're helping audiobook authors who are frustrated by painfully low royalties and the barriers that prevent them from managing their own products and customers. Amplify Audiobooks is a direct sale platform that enables authors to earn much higher royalties and have way more control. We're disrupting the audiobook industry by putting authors first. Get started today at proaudiovoices.app or go to proaudiovoices.com and click on the Distribution Amplify link. Join the movement. Okay, so the question, of course, is, do I really have to market? And if the answer is yes, then now this is where I want you to really connect with your goal and what will having that do for you. These are the foundational, the passion that drives you, the gas in your engine. These are the answers that will help you stay focused. And not just stay focused, like as in doing something you don't really want to do, but you have to do, but staying focused in terms of staying in touch with what you really love and care about. That is what makes the whole marketing journey enjoyable. I know from my own upbringing that, my dad was very much someone who sort of poo-pooed this whole thing about sales, and he made it sound like a dirty word, and I think that a lot of us have lived through experiences that make it feel that way. But my dad was also an author, and he started publishing in his 80s. But when he was out and about, he could easily talk to strangers and just about anyone about the books that he was writing because he really cared about them. He was excited about them and passionate. And that's what made it fun for him. He didn't think about the fact that he was actually marketing. In fact, probably if I'd pointed it out to him, he would have just poo-pooed it as, that's not what I was doing at all. So if you feel like you have a negative feeling, an aversion to marketing, I want you to focus in on your intention, that goal, so that you can stay in touch with the fun part. And then as you're mapping out your strategy, and I do recommend that you work with someone on mapping out that strategy. We're happy to do that at Pro Audio Voices with you. But then as you're mapping out that strategy, you can also get in touch and stay in touch with the kinds of activities that you really enjoy. Is it writing? Well, then you might want to look for and focus on activities that are more text-based. If it's recording, grabbing your phone and just shooting a quick video, then you might want to focus on things that are a little more video-based. There are so many different options available to you. And I know sometimes all we think about marketing, that means social media. Well, it doesn't mean social media. It might include social media. And certainly, social media is a way that we can reach more people than just those who are local to us. But it's not the only way. So as you're crafting your marketing strategy, and again, I encourage you, especially if you have any resistance to it, I encourage you to work with someone like us at Pro Audio Voices to help develop what your strategy will be. And then as you implement it, staying in touch with your why will really make the process so much more fun. You might actually find that you really enjoy the activities that we would secretly call marketing. You don't have to call them that if that makes you uncomfortable, if that word has a negative connotation for you. But let's think about what fun you can have as you're sharing your gift with the world. I hope that this has been helpful for you. And again, I hope that you'll reach out to us at Pro Audio Voices. We love working with authors. Our goal is to help you succeed with your goals. And marketing is a long game. It's the kind of thing, it takes time. It takes development over time. And we're in it for the long haul. We're in it with you. So if that's something that you have questions about or you'd like to discuss, I hope that you'll schedule a discovery call with us because, as I say, we love helping authors succeed. Thanks for joining me today, and let me know if this has been helpful for you. I appreciate if you're hearing this in a context where you can leave comments, please do so. You can always reach out to us through our website, proaudiovoices.com. Thanks again. Thanks for joining us for Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. Please take a moment to subscribe at audiobookconnection.com. The podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Learn more at proaudiovoices.com. Again, thanks for being with us, and please join us next week.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.